what's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So yesterday I gave away four free winners. So we had a total of 4-1 in yesterday's video. If you don't believe me, go check out the live video I did. I talked about every single one of those plays, and only one of them was a loser. I did say to stay away from the Guardians, and they ended up winning 5-0. I'm going to show you all the receipts of what I'm talking about. For example, we had the Phillies. They ended up winning 8-0. We had the Reds. They ended up winning 10-2. I talked about the Marlins, and again, it was a 4-1 day. I'm going to show you the receipts for all that. If you don't want to be missing out on all these picks, check out the 3 days for free in the VIP. That's going to be in the pinned comment. I have two very strong plays. You can either parlay them together or do individual plays in today's video. So stay tuned for two plays in this video. So here's what the VIP was looking like yesterday. We're back in the green. So this was the Phillies, very easy win, no sweat bet, 8-0. The Reds, they ended up winning 10-2. That was very easy. The Mets, they didn't score much, but they did score enough to win the game, so 2-0. George Springer, for me, it was a little bit odd that these odds were minus 188. I was actually going to stay away from that, but that came through easily for us. And then we had 2 no-run first inning, under 1.5 no-run first inning. This one I gave away for free as well. So I did give away the Phillies. I did talk about the Guardians. I did talk about the Reds. And then I gave away this one here. And then we did have one loser. That was a no-run first inning on the Pirates game. But then they ended up scoring in the first inning. So that was a loss. And then we did have the under stolen bases. This was a 3-leg parlay. And this has been hitting for us 100% for about a week and a half now. So I've been putting these into the VIP, and it's basically free money at this point. And this is the same thing that's been happening since last year. Whenever these under stolen bases show up, these have been very, very, very solid, like 90+% for over a year now. So sometimes they do lose, obviously, but they're very, very solid. This is what we have in the VIP for today. If you want to check this out, that's going to be in the pinned comments, and you get 3 days for free if you check out the link in the pinned comments. All right, one of the first things I like to look at, this is actually free in the third link in the description, is the best versus worst teams. Right here, you can see that Houston is the top team right now. They're hitting at a 91% hit rate. So they crept up, and now they're number one. You can see right there again, the best performing teams is the Houston Astros. I think I said the Rockets, but that's basketball. But anyway, Houston Astros, 11-1, 91% hit rate. Red Sox have dipped down. They were actually number one for a long time. Now they're number 2, 76% hit rate. You got the Braves hitting at a 71%. The Padres have crept up, and they're actually warming up at the perfect time in the season. So now right now they're getting very, very clean wins. So I'm actually staying away. Today they did show up as a play, but I'm staying away for other reasons. But this is good to look at because it starts guiding you where you should be looking. So against the Padres, the Rays did show up for me today too. So I'm going to take a deeper look on that one. These are the top teams right now in baseball. Now, reverse that. This is the worst performing teams. The Athletics in the last 14 games have been the worst team so far. They're hitting at a 23% hit rate. Cardinals are hitting at a 28% hit rate. Pirates are very bad. We faded them yesterday. I think we're going to fade them today again. And the Angels have been somehow winning games. Like yesterday, they won when they should not have won. But anyways, they're only hitting at a 33% hit rate. Yesterday, I explained the Phillies. They ended up winning 8-0, even though they're the 5th worst team. I explained that because of Wheeler, I explained all this, that I was still going to trust them. And sure enough, they won 8-0. Now, what's very important about this page, it says notable matchups today. So right here, you can see that the Yankees are number 9. They're going against the Cardinals, which is number 29. So that's a mismatch of 20 points or 20 ranking positions. The Brewers are number 10 versus the Pirates, number 28. So the mismatch is 18 ranking positions. Okay, obviously that doesn't mean that they're going to win the game, but this is very clean to look at every single day. If you want access to this page that you're looking at, it's free. You don't have to even put your email or anything. It's the third link in the description for this page, and it auto refreshes every day. So make sure you take advantage of that. If you haven't gotten the free picks, go to the link in the description and click on free picks. All right, once we kind of know what teams are sucking right now and which ones are good, then we go into the sharp line monitor. So what this does is actually just goes out and looks at all the line movement from the books And again, the reason that is important is because whenever the sharps are hammering it, and especially when it's going on the reverse line move, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, go to my channel and type in the word line movement. I explained that in other videos, so check that out. Anyways, with this is very, very important because if there's a lot of money coming in on one side and the lines are being pushed the other way, and then it's a very good sign. So, for example, today the Phillies are being pushed in their favor. The Yankees, you can see how dramatic this is. It went from a 188 to a 210. So the Yankees are already in two different data sets coming up as plays today. The Rangers also is showing up now. It's 109 to 117. And the Diamondbacks actually moved 10 cents as well. You can see 105 to 115. If you don't know how to read line moves or anything like that, you don't need to. You just go to this part right here, which is the sharp edge. And then you go to the bottom of this sharp line monitor. And it literally tells you the Yankees, it's going in their favor, 22 cents. The Diamondbacks is going in their favor as an underdog at a plus 1.5, 11 cents. The Rays, the Rangers. Okay, so all of these four teams right now, as it stands, the line is moving in their favor. So now, again, if you start putting this stuff lined up, you'll see that the Yankees that has the line movement, and then we start looking towards the sharp plays. So right here under the sharp plays, it's telling us to take a look at the Yankees in the first 5 innings and the Milwaukee Brewers. Here's the reasoning why. I'm not going to explain it in this page, but it gives you the breakdown of why you should be looking at these teams. Now, the next thing I like to look at is the projections. You can see if I go to the Sharp Edge tool, it gives me all the projections on who should be winning and why. So right here, it does say the Phillies should be winning, the Yankees, the Brewers, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Astros, and that's it. So out of all these, the other ones are too close to call. Okay, so I like to look at that just to give me the projections on who should be winning. One of the teams I'm staying away from today, but they did come up, like I mentioned, is the Padres and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks were actually top 5 teams. They dropped out of that. They're still the top 10. But the Padres, I already showed you that they're actually number 4. So right now they're red hot. You don't want to mess around with that. On top of that, there's a lot of contradictions. So I'm staying away from this, even though the Arizona line is moving in their favor. And there's other things that showed up for Arizona. There's too many things that stood out. For example, Michael King, you can see he's an ace pitcher, and he's going against Pafat. So things like that have to be, once you start putting 2 and 2 together, so meaning you start getting signals on what's been showing up, why is it showing up, and then you start going deeper into the research, then stuff like this stands out on why you should be staying away from these games. The reason I explain this is that sometimes, even though it'll say like sharp plays, for example, or different signals that are saying you should be going with this team, if you start going in deeper into the research, and all of this is inside the Sharp Edge on the one page, or I'm sorry, on this one website, then you can start seeing very clear signals on if you should be going with them or staying away. So again, the Yankees have been showing up on different signals like I just showed you. So let's just take a deeper look on this. And I am going to go with the Yankees, but I'll tell you how I'm going to play it, and then you can decide what you want to do. So for example, right here, it does say the Cardinals, I'm sorry, the Yankees should be beating the Cardinals 4 to 3.5. The overall picture for the Yankees, they have been sucking lately, but they are getting better. The overall categories, it's the Yankees are leading 10 out of the 12 categories. Now, the reason that the Yankees are showing up on everybody's radar is because of Schlittler. I think that's how you say it. Somebody always checks me on that, but it is what it is. It's Schlittler, and he's an ace tier starter. Now, he's going against McGreevy, which is inconsistent. On top of that, the bullpen for the Yankees. So whenever they take this starter out, the bullpen comes in, and they're even better. They're still better overall. Now, you can see how good the bullpen is, which is a 2.78 compared to St. Louis, which is a 4.13. So that is a huge mismatch on the bullpen. So very strong mismatch on the starting pitcher, very strong mismatch on the bullpen. A lot of signals are talking about going with the first 5 innings because of the starting pitcher gap and because it's already getting later into the season. And on top of that, Schlittler is already known to be a short starter, meaning that they pull him very early. So if you want to go with the first 5 innings, then it's very expensive. You might have to parlay that with something else. I actually like it on the first 5 innings, but I also like it on the money line as well. Now, if we go deeper into the game, you can see it's a minus 188. Now it's currently a minus 198. So that line is shifting in the Yankees' favor. However, it is going into public as well. You can see the bets are 88%. The money is 92%. So I don't like to see when the public is aligned with the sharps because there is no clear indication that they should win the game. But the line is shifting enough at 10 cents, even with this much money coming in. So what that tells me is that the books have to adjust even though there's 92% of the money coming in on the Yankees. So one thing I will tell you is that the Yankees do suck at home. They're a 28% hit rate. However, that's with every starting pitcher, not just with this massive ace pitcher. Okay, now we look at the markets. The markets do price the Yankees a full run higher than St. Louis. And what this means is basically that DraftKings is saying that the odds that are favored is saying that the Yankees are going to score under 4.5 runs. So if you do the math, that's 4. They're saying they're going to score 4 or less. That's favored. If you go on the other side, you look at St. Louis, it's saying under 3.5. So it's saying 3 or lower. Okay, so 4 or lower for Yankees, 3 or lower for the Cardinals. So that is 1 full run higher on the Yankees signal. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, then rewind what I just said and then listen to that. Otherwise, leave a comment and I'll explain it better. So anyways, we look deeper into this. You can see McGreevy versus Schlittler. It's not even close. You got the FIP over here, 2.53. The ERA is 2, and the WHIP is 91. So the overall picture, this guy is an ace-graded pitcher. This guy's decent as well, but not nowhere compared to Schlittler. The bullpen, like I mentioned, is much better, 2.78. And even the available ERA is closer. But in general, the bullpen ERA is better for the Yankees. Now, one thing I don't like is that the OPS, these guys have been struggling, especially with Aaron Judge being out. So their on-base percentage dropped dramatically once Judge got injured. So you can see right there, 27th versus 25th, which is not a big deal. The big deal comes in the pitching side, just like I mentioned. So again, the first leg of this parlay, you can do the money line on the Yankees, or you can take the first 5 innings on the Yankees. If you don't want to do a parlay, you can do it just like I did. I did the money line and I did the first 5 innings. So I'm putting a lot of trust in the Yankees, even though they suck on the OPS, but I'm putting a lot of trust in the starting pitcher and the bullpen. The only thing I don't like I mentioned, is that the public is all over this. So I don't like to see that, because then, that's when the fishy stuff starts, where they say that the books are called, that Vegas made the call and stuff like that. So that's just something to be aware of. But I do like the first 5 innings and the money line on the Yankees. So let me talk about the other team. So there is this other tool that I skipped, but I looked at it earlier. I skipped it before I started talking about the Yankees. Everything that I just explained is literally one snapshot. It's called a convergence tool. And with this convergence tool, it literally explains everything I just said, except for the pitching. And it tells you the line movement, the win probability, the deeper research, the projected runs, the OPS, the expert insights, stuff like that. All of that is put onto one snapshot before you even take a look deeper into the other criteria to see if it matches a play or not. So this tool, it took me a long time to build this, but it has been very, very, very powerful, because it gives me a snapshot if I should even be looking further into this game or not. The Brewers, and again, I don't like to see that, because now the public is all over it as well. And I showed you on the other screen right here where it says notable matchups. It's a huge mismatch. Number 10 ranked team versus number 28 ranked team. So if we look deeper into this, you can see the projected score. The Brewers are supposed to score 6 compared to 4.5. The win probability is 58%. Both starters are below league average, but Milwaukee's dominant bullpen compensates for Sproat's short start. What this means is that the starting pitcher kind of sucks for both teams, but the bullpen is massively better for Milwaukee. So if you look at this right here, I'm not going to read that, but it gives you a clear indication on where this game should be going. Now, Milwaukee is on 139 and went to a 143. That's a very, very slight line move. On top of that, the public is all over this. You can see 74% of the bets, 81% of the money is coming in on Milwaukee, and the line is shifting very, very slightly. So those are some negative signs. I don't like to see those little negative signs like that, but I think the bullpen will take over. On top of that, the win probability is 58%. Whenever these guys start as favorites, they hit at 71%. And then these guys are fully baked in at least one more run. And like I showed you, the projections are 6 compared to 4.5. And the books are saying the same thing here. They're projected, Pittsburgh Pirates is projected to go over 3.5, which is 4. And then the Milwaukee Brewers are projected to go under 4.5, which is 4. So they're pretty close game as far as the over-unders on the total runs. Now, again, Sproat is kind of shitty right here with a 5.19 and a 5.05 ERA. But overall, like I said, the bullpen is much cleaner for Milwaukee. On top of that, the OPS, the Pirates have been shitting the bed over here at 22 compared to number 12. So if you start looking at this, the bullpen is better, the batting is better. Milwaukee leads 9 out of 12 categories, things like that. That's the reason I like Milwaukee today. And like I showed you, they're ranked 10th versus I think what was the team is like 25th or something like that for the Pirates. So I'm taking Milwaukee on the money line. So if you want, like I said, the way I'm doing this for a 2-leg parlay, I'm actually starting a ladder challenge today. I'm actually doing this. I'll give you the ladder challenge today, and then you guys can play however you want it. I do like the Yankees on the first 5 innings. I like the Yankees on the money line. I also like the Brewers on the money line. But the way I'm doing this ladder challenge is I'm doing the Milwaukee Brewers at a plus 1.5, and I'm taking the Yankees on the first 5 innings. So again, let me repeat that. The 2-leg parlay for the ladder challenge is going to be the Yankees at the first 5 innings, and then the Milwaukee Brewers at a plus 1.5. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate you guys. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. Check out the pinned comment if you want 3 days for free in the VIP. Also, check out the Sharp Edge tool. It's 7 days for free. And if you haven't done so, make sure to check out the free picks. All those links are in the description. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.